Hi, and welcome to Chuck's Culture Channel. This time around, I'm talking to the Chicago-based singer-songwriter duo of Ann and Mark Burnell. The Chicago Tribune has praised Ann as a singer of glorious gifts and Mark as silky smooth and highly polished. Their album, Two for the Road, was just released back in August, and you can get it at the usual online sites. You will find them all in the video description field below. They're touring right now, playing selections from that album along with a lot of other material, and they're going to appear here in St. Louis on December 28th, 2022 at the Blue Strawberry Showroom. After that, they're going to be touring elsewhere in the country. You can find out where they're going to be after December 28th, or even before December 28th, depending on when you're watching this, just by checking out the links in the video description field below. But before I get around to talking to them, how about we watch just a little bit of video? Here's a little something from the title track from Two for the Road.
If you're feeling fancy free, come wander through the world with me, and any place we chance to be will be our rendezvous. Two for the road, we'll travel down the years, collecting precious memories, selecting souvenirs, and living life the way we please. In summertime, the sun will shine. In winter, we'll drink summer wine. And every day that you are mine will be a lovely day, as long as love still wears a smile. I know that we'll be true for the road, and that's a long, long
Okay, well, there you had a little bit of Ann and Mark Burnell from their new album, Two for the Road, the title track, by the way. And of course, here with me, live and in person, are Ann and Mark Burnell. Are you in Chicago right now, or where are you at the moment?
We are.
Yep.
Our neighborhood is Wicker Park, which
Okay.
about 25 years ago was kind of an artist hang with Liz Phair and Smashing Pumpkins, et cetera, et cetera. But since the rents went up and it got a little gentrified, and the artists kind of scattered, so they're not in one specific place now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now you guys are Chicago based, but you have played all over the world. And as I mentioned earlier in the intro, you're going to be at the Blue Strawberry here in St. Louis, which is what's behind me right now, on the 28th of December. And right now, just so everybody knows, if you look down here at the video description field, you'll see all the information you need on the show and how to get tickets and so on. So this is also kind of a promotional tour for your new album, right? Two for the Road?
Right. We've actually never been to St. Louis, and
Ah,
so we're very excited if you can show us around. And there's a lot of music happening there.
yes.
We have a lot of friends that came, from St. Louis and toured up here, and so we
Mm-hmm.
got kind of really intrigued with the mix of music that was coming from St. Louis, and so It was one of the places we wanted to bring the new album to.
Plus, we had a place
great.
to go. That
We have
helps
friends
too.
there.
Well, yeah, we have a lively jazz scene here. As I was saying before we started recording, we have a lively cabaret scene too. We have the St. Louis Cabaret Conference every year, and I'm on the board of the Cabaret Project, which is dedicated to promoting and sustaining the art of cabaret in St. Louis. And we have singers open mic nights at the Blue Strawberry twice a month. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and but I'm glad to hear that from you guys. You know, that one of the reasons you came here is because we have a lively scene.
Oh yeah, because it's a scene.
Absolutely.
You know, and we have a great cabaret scene here in Chicago too, and I'm on the board of
Oh yeah.
Chicago Cabaret. So we should, talk and be sister organizations, I think.
It's a great idea.
I have to agree with that. I'm on the board of the Cabaret Project, so we can talk about that offline.
Yeah,
But
we'd love to.
But you're right. There's a lot of, for people who aren't in Chicago or St. Louis, there's a lot of, shall we say, traffic back and forth between people who perform in one city and then go to the other and vice versa. Because I know we've had a lot of people appear in Chicago, Davenports and places like that. Yeah.
Right. And fabulous singers from there, Amy Armstrong, who's living in St. Louis now, and Denise Times. She's
Oh,
she's
she's a big hit here.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we love her. Susan Werner is from Chicago, and she just played there too. So, yeah, we love her too. Yeah.
Susan Werner, singer-songwriter. I've reviewed her a couple of times. Really a terrific at both of those things.
Yeah, what?
I'd say she's terrific at both of those things too.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And we do a couple of our numbers too. But we just adore her.
Well, now let's talk about the album a bit, because it's a mix of standards, some of them in unorthodox arrangements, which I really like, and some of your original stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. We, if you don't put your own songs out there, then where do they go? You have to sort of. We've been fortunate in that we've released them little by little. And one time we went to New York and tried to play a whole show of our original material, which we probably wouldn't present that again. I don't think it was hard to sell, but
yeah, people want to hear things they recognize too. So that's why we thought we'd mix in standards.
So compliments, of other singers wanting the charts to record or to perform the material. That's like the biggest compliment ever.
So anyway, so what's your background? I mean, why don't you give folks a little idea of how you got to where you are?
Okay. Mark is easier, so he should start.
Okay.
I was a music major at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, I grew up in the country about an hour north of Pittsburgh, and that was the greatest school in our area. So I got a couple degrees there. And after 5 years, luckily a position opened up from the music theater department as a vocal coach. And I grabbed that. And then a couple years later, I helped a few other people start the Chicago Jazz Choir, and I directed that. So I worked on campus for 10 years before I moved to Chicago.
He couldn't leave.
And then after 4 years after I moved here, I met Ann. And that's the start of that history.
So you two really melded over performing, over singing and writing songs.
Yeah, we tried when we first got together. We tried not to work together. We're like, you have your band, I have my band. Let's just keep this a separate thing.
That didn't last very long.
As soon as someone called us up a gig, they were like, we need a piano and vocal duo. We're like, let's do it.
That's us.
So. And then our styles, I feel like, I don't know if you feel this way too, but our styles started to merge a little bit. I come from the musical theater, yes, the same, but also like rock and roll and pop music. I like a little bit more of a pop feel. And
I'm more of a jazz player, but we sort of mixed them together in a big bowl and just sort of, what comes out.
Yeah. I think you can hear that in the album, as a matter of fact. So yeah,
it took a long time to grow together. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the album, we talked about this before I started recording. One of the songs, the first song I heard when I listened to it, it was first track on the album, was "Bubbles, Bangles, and Beads," And it's an ingenious arrangement. As I was saying before I started recording, I was listening to this and thinking, oh, it's a jazz waltz. And then suddenly it went into 4/4 time. I said, okay. And then it switched back to 3/4. I said, oh, this is really a lot of fun. And so I asked you before we started recording if you would do a minute or so from that. So
Sure.
let's hear some of that arrangement of Baubles, Bangles, and Beads.
Okay, and then I'll tell you how we came to this. But first,
I'm going to mute myself while you're doing this.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Baubles, bangles, hear how they jingling. Baubles, bangles, bright shiny beads. Sparkles, spangles, my heart will sing, sing-a-ling, no every baubles, bangles, and beads. All glitter and gleams. Make somebody dream. Someday he may I be raving a leaf. Oh, that's where I've heard it leads. Wearing baubles and bangles, sparkles and spangles, all those baubles, many diamond tennis bangles and dangles and rubies, rhinestones and jewelry, ring, rings, all of those shiny things, and marbles and bangles and beads.
Lovely. Okay.
So Baubles, the arrangement, we loved playing with it in 3/4, and we loved playing with it in 4/4. And so one of my older piano players said, "Well, why don't you just do it in both? So you
Why
can't make
not?
up your mind."
Yeah.
So it was that kind of thing, and then after you play it like that for a while, it seamlessly goes into the waltz and in and out. But it takes a little while to
It
settle.
was from Kismet, and it was a waltz in that show.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Yeah, it is. Which, of course, is based on the Plovdian Dances by Alexander Borodin, where it was also a waltz. So,
Yeah.
wow,
Wow.
you know your stuff.
well, Kismet, Kismet is one of those Wright and Forrest shows that was somebody else's classical composer's music that they imported and gave lyrics to. I mean, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Song of Norway is another one. Edvard Grieg, Wright and Forrest. So what can folks expect when they come to see you at the Blue Strawberry on the 28th?
Oh, we'll do some vocal duets. We even do an a cappella song from time to time, and we'll do songs from the new album, and we'll do songs from our prior albums.
We also have, we love to travel so much, and we wanted to manifest going on the road with this. So that's why the cover of the album is us in a convertible, like, woo! Because we really wanted to, we were pent up for 2 years, right?
Yeah, as were many of us. Yeah.
I know, right?
Right.
And so the one thing we couldn't wait to get back to was just hitting the road and going to different clubs and actually picking up different musicians and playing with them and just kind of being face to face with people. So
in January, February, and March, we'll be
on the road.
We'll be on the road in Florida playing gigs down there.
Pittsburgh, Florida. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to ask you is where you're going from St. Louis, because this will be up on the internet forever, probably.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can go to burnellmusic.com and kind of follow us. So we have a monthly email that goes out if people want to find out.
schedule.
Yeah, just kind of always be aware, or any new releases that we do, we just kind of announce it in an email.
Okay. I'll make sure that's in the video description field also, so people can.
Sarasota will be our home base for 3 months, but we'll be performing in that area and around that area.
Yeah, there's a jazz society, Jazz Club of Sarasota, that presented us about right at the beginning of the pandemic, actually.
Right before it.
And so they're presenting us again. It's their first chance again to do it. So we're very excited about that.
Okay, so you're going to be in Florida for a lot of January, basically.
Yeah,
February,
all around
March.
Florida, yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be a good time climatologically speaking to be in Florida, I would imagine. Yeah.
Then, yeah,
That's part of it.
we did it purposely, but also the work kind of shifts a little bit in January here, so it's okay to leave and hit the road, and then we're going to come back and play April and May. In May in Chicago, we're doing the second annual Chicago Cabaret Week, which is a festival of cabaret.
Okay.
So maybe you want to come up here for that. Yeah.
In May. Okay. I have to make a note of that.
Yeah.
Is it 10 days again?
It's 9 days of a festival in all different clubs and stuff like that. We did it for the first time this year, although it was in the planning works for 3 years. Got shut down. Yeah, but it's back.
That sounds very cool. I'm glad to hear that. So once again, you guys are going to be appearing at the Blue Strawberry December 28th. I guess that's what we need people to know. Is there anything else you want to tell whoever's watching this about the show and your album?
I do want to share, because Mark and I do this little signature thing, and it's not on the record. It was on our first record. Grab your mic, honey, would you? And we do a cappella. We call it, flying without a net. But it came about because we were on our way to our gig, and Mark said, "Oh my gosh, we didn't run that one tune." And so he sang a bass line, and I started singing in the car on the way to the gig. And we kind of practiced, and we thought, wow, I wonder if that's like sustainable. I wonder if we could actually do that.
You do humming song?
Okay, sure.
Just one stir?
On the slow part or the fast?
Oh, how about the fast one?
Okay. No, let's
go for it.
So we're gonna skip the intro.
Okay.
Every honeybee fills with jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, goodness knows. Honeysuckle rose. Oh, when you're passing by, flowers do inside, and I know the reason why. You're much sweeter, goodness knows. My honeysuckle rose. Oh, don't you buy sugar? You just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar. So sweet when you stir it up. When I'm taking sips from your tasty lips, seems the honey valley drips. Your confection, goodness knows. Honeysuckle rose. Anyway, we go into a little. So we hope you
Fats Waller. Love me some Fats Waller. Excellent. Yeah.
Love it.
And people, if there's a slower song, people in the audience, they kind of sing along with us, and it makes it sound, less singing without a net. You're definitely singing with the people there. So if you come, please sing along.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so might be some sing-along moments on this.
There might.
Okay. That's great, guys. Thanks so much for taking time here to talk to me. And again, check out the video links the links in the video description field to find out more about Ann and Mark Burnell and where they're going to be and when. And I have links down there where you can listen to their new album and check it out for yourself. So
we hope to see you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chuck. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Okay, look forward to seeing you guys in December here. And thanks once again for joining us here on Chuck's Culture Channel. And everybody watching, please check out the other episodes of Chuck's Culture Channel. Share us on the social networks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.